saying that whenever God says he's going to do something, watch this, we can trust and believe that it's going to happen. God may say it may not come right now. He may not come when you want it. But the songwriter says he's always on time. Unlike people, God does not lie. He doesn't change his words. Nor does he leave his promises unfulfilled. That's good news this morning. Because we have a God that will lead and guide us every step of the way. That's encouraging to me this morning. Sometimes people say that they're going to be there for you. Sometimes they say, I'm on my way. Just hang on in there. But I'm hanging in there, brother. Time is ticking. But you ain't came yet. Oh, but when I call on Jesus, hey, he comes right away for me. And I can hear the songwriter say, God is able to do just what he said he would do. He's going to fulfill every promise to you. But watch this, it says, don't give up on God. Let me say it again. Don't give up on God. You know why, Sister Johnson? Because he won't give up on you. I know that he is able. God, he is able to do just what he said he's going to do. And here in the book of Proverbs, Solomon here, who is known for his wisdom and knowledge, he is pleading and instructing his son to put his trust in the Lord. And if I could just use my imagination, I can hear Solomon telling his son, boy, God has been good to me. And just like he's been good to me, if you let him lead and guide you, I guarantee you he'll show enough be good to you. But in order for him to be good to you, first you have to put your trust in him. By show of hands this morning, how many of us have sat our kids down and told them that you can't put your trust in your friends. You can't put your trust in rap music. You can't put your trust in everything you see on Facebook, on Instagram. But you got to put your trust in the Lord. And if there ever was time for us parents to stop sugarcoating things for our kids, it's time for us to be real with them. Or as the young folks would say, keep it 100 with them. Or keep it a buck. Because they're going to need the Lord. We got to be real with them. We got to sit them down and let them know, hey, if you go this route, you're going to wind up in jail. If you go this route, somebody's going to kill you, man. So I'm telling you, keep your eyes on the star pole and glory. You got to be real with the young folks this morning. And no need to always try to smooth it over and make it sound good for them. Sometimes you just got to get uncut with them and let them know what it is. Because I found out about God is that he knows what's best for us. He knows what we need and what we don't need. He knows who we need to cut off and who we need to keep around us. But it's up to us to trust in him this morning. That's why Solomon tells his son, don't forget my law, but let your heart keep my command. Now listen, Solomon didn't make the law. He just followed what God told him to do. Solomon just followed God's instructions. But he wanted his son to know that if he did the same thing and kept God's commandments close, if he kept them close to his heart, not only will God be with him, but God will grant him favor. Somebody in the house say favor. I know that favor sometimes ain't fair. And it's something about when God has favor on your life, you'll really see who's happy for you. You'll really see who got your back. But it tries to stop you. The Apostle Paul reminds us in Romans 8:31. Listen what he says, that if God be for us, then who can be against us? If God be for us, it don't matter what them haters may be talking about me about. It don't matter how they try to scandalize your name. If God be for you, who can be against you? Are y'all praying with me this morning? And that lets us know that if God is on our side, young folks, we don't have to worry about a thing. So we must remember this morning, number one, to always trust in the Lord. You got to remember that. You got to keep that in your heart. You got to keep that in your mind, no matter what type of circumstances you may be faced with. You got to remember to always trust in the Lord. That's why Solomon states these profound words in verse number 5 when he states, trust in the Lord with all your heart. We have to understand that we can't just trust God in just some of the things. We got to trust God in everything. You got to trust Him when you're feeling good. You got to trust Him when you got a little bit of money in your pocket. You got to trust Him when you don't have a dime to your name. But you still got to trust God. But in actuality, we have to trust God in everything in life. Even if the outcome is not what we expected it to be. And I see some folks, they start out running for the Lord hard. They start doing everything they can. But once a little rain and a little dew starts to hit on them, they begin to panic. They begin to go back on their word. But I want to remind you this morning, no matter what comes up in your life, you got an anchor. You keep on trusting in the Lord. And one thing I've learned about trusting in the Lord this morning is that He won't lead you down the wrong path. He won't lead you down the wrong path. That's why Solomon encourages us to lean and depend on the Lord. Solomon didn't say lean and depend on your own understanding. He said you got to lean and depend on the Lord. And if I could be honest with you this morning, there have been countless times that I have been hard-headed. There have been countless times that I thought that I knew everything. You couldn't tell Ryan anything. If I thought it was right, it was right. But once I realized that I was wrong, I had to turn around and tell the Lord, Lord, forgive me. I tried to turn to other sources to address my problems. But once I realized those other sources couldn't help me, that's when I made up in my mind that I would never try to make a decision without seeking the Lord first. I decided that I would never walk this journey by myself anymore. That's why when you're faced with tough decisions, I want to remind you to fall down on your knees and seek the Lord to guide you. The old saints would say, just a little talk with Jesus. Oh, y'all gonna pray with me this morning? Just a little talk with Jesus will make everything all right. So when you trust in the Lord and lean not to your own understanding. Number 2, watch this. You must remember that God deserves all of the credit. I can hear the songwriter saying, everything that happened to me that was good, God did. God doesn't want to see you fail. He wants you to be successful in life. He wants you to have things in life. He wants you to make a name for yourself. He wants you to make your family proud. But in order to reach your goals this morning, you have to remember the one that is able to do these things. Number 3, I want to encourage you that every time you have an opportunity, don't be afraid to share with somebody that the God that you serve is able. You have to tell somebody that God is able to deliver you. You have to share with them that He's able to keep you from falling. You got to tell them He is able to give you peace when those so-called friends turn their backs on you. Ephesians 3:20 sisters in the house this morning that's not ashamed to tell somebody that I would trust in the Lord. It doesn't matter how hard it may get. It doesn't matter who may turn their backs on you. You gotta trust them in the good days. And you gotta trust them in the bad days. You gotta trust them when you get up in the morning. And you gotta trust them when you go to bed at night. So I got a witness in the house this morning who's gonna trust in the Lord. I can hear the songwriter say that I will trust in the Lord until I die. I'm gonna stay on the battlefield until I die. I'm gonna stay on my bending knees until I die. So whatever problem you're dealing with, just turn it over to Jesus and he will work it out. How many of y'all know this morning that Jesus will work it out? I don't know how you feel about it, but when I think about everything that Jesus has done for me, I'd be a fool not to trust him. I don't know how you feel about it, but when my money was low and my bills was knocking on the door, I had to get down on my knees and tell the Lord, Father, oh Father, I need you, Lord. These bills keep coming up on me. I couldn't trust on my wife. I couldn't trust on my job. But I have to trust in Jesus. And the reason why that I can trust in Jesus this morning is because one Friday, my Jesus died. They stretched him wide and they hung him high. He dropped his head and the locks of his shoulders. That's why I trust him this morning, because they laid him down in an old borrowed grave. He stayed there 3 long days, but early, and I'm happy this morning. I said early Sunday morning, he got out the grave with all power in his hands. That's why I trust him today, because he rose for me. That's why I trust him today, because of one of these old days, he's coming back again. And I don't know how you feel about it, but I want to hear him say, come on up, I'll make you ruler over me. Is there anybody here that's going to trust in the Lord? Is there anybody here that's going to lean on the Lord? Not on your own understanding, but in all of your ways, acknowledge him, and the Lord will. I said the Lord will direct your path. Some of you looking at me like God ain't been good to you, but he's been real. He's been real good to me. And one of these days, when he called my name, I want to hear him say, seven, well done. God good and faithful son. So young folks, when you go to school tomorrow, be an example to your so-called friends. Be an example to that teacher. Be an example to your principal. And let them know that the God that you serve, he's able. And when you go to work tomorrow, don't you? It don't matter if they don't supervise or get on your nerve. Yeah, but you just keep on smiling and let him know that I love you, brother. I love you, sister. Because the reason why I love you is because God loves you. So put your trust in God.